Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're talking about air signs, sun, moon and rising. We're using the Fairy Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, which by the way is an old deck, it's falling apart. And then we're doing Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and artwork by Selena Fennick. She does lots of other tarot decks as well for Lucy Cavendish. I think one of them is Mermaid. What I've got today, the first one is Strength. This is the 11 number. Now for me, being a psychic, whenever I get to 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock, that's when I get my impressions. 11 symbolizes a doorway. See how there's two? It's like a narrow gap to walk through. You're having to walk through a narrow gap. I'm guessing you're starting something new. You have Leo prominently in your chart at the moment, even though you're an air sign. You're getting the attention that you need. You're having the grace to not talk about the things you want to talk about with a certain inner circle. And you're having the inner strength to overcome a lot of challenges. And that's recently you've done that. You don't want to have people thinking that your kindness is a weakness. But you have the power of kindness and forgiveness. It's time to embrace how wonderful you are. You could be doing strength training. You might have just come from the gym, is what it's saying there. The next card I've got is Awakening, Pisces energy. This is either swimming up the stream or going down the stream. Change the way you're looking at the situation. Embrace your uniqueness, a temporary pause in action. So you're being suspended like Odin was from the tree in Norway. And then he got the vision upside down, all the blood was rushing to his head, all these symbols for the runes. So maybe you need to change your perspective. If you're hung upside down like that, you're not going to look at the world in the same way as if you were upright. So maybe you need just to change your stance. It can also talk about feeling like you were always labelled weird or odd or strange. It's saying that's okay now because that's unique. Your kookiness and weirdness is what makes you you. And a lot of fun people are weird and unique and different. And the more fame they get, because this is talking about fame, the more famous you get being a Leo energy, the strength card, the more you self-isolate, the more people think you're strange and quirky because you are not around enough people to fit into normal society if you self-isolate. Now, a lot of people had to during COVID. And when they came out, it was kind of like fashion runway gone bad. Everyone was so keen to be noticed because they were shut away from the world. And anyone who's a Leo, that must have been hell. Because Leos love attention and it's constant with them. They like to be admired for their beauty or what they're wearing or whatever it is. They're flashy people. So Leos must have been the ones that I saw walking on the Great Bloody Walk in Newcastle, which is from Mayfield right through to Newcastle, in town, into the city centre of the hub. It passes Maryville and a whole bunch of the yacht club and the whole thing. And so what I was seeing when lockdown first started and we could only go out for an hour a day, I saw so many people in loungewear or workout wear that was so bright and loud, couldn't miss them from 20 paces away because they're all competing for this attention that they couldn't get before because they're shut away in their drab, boring clothes because they couldn't leave the house anyway. I'm guessing, people that make pajamas would have made a fortune with it because we all sat in our pajamas or our loungewear. So loungewear's become the new norm. Back in the 50s, there was such a thing called loungewear. They used to wear their smoking jackets back then, which was loungewear. So we've brought that back into fashion. And like the pandemic brought back a lot of things in fashion. Scars. Hello, my arm. Scars from all the pock marks, because it was like a combination of chicken pox and yellow fever, I believe. That's what COVID was. We went back to the pandemic of the 1800s when everyone came out on a boat from London and Ireland to escape they'd just gotten over the pandemic, so they spread their wings and moved to Australia on the big boats, which took probably 6 months to get there. And all of them had just come out of fevers and most of them had died. And whoever was left to start a new life in Australia because they figured let's go somewhere where there's less disease because in Europe it was highly affected. There was more Black Death in Europe than anywhere else in the world. And that's just a bit of history for you. So I pulled up here the Black Obsidian, and that's representing Pisces. Black Obsidian is good for also Scorpion energy because we're in Scorpio season currently. And Apache Tears is another crystal I would use for Pisces energy, but I don't have one. So this looks very similar to Apache Tears. They cost a fortune when you go to buy one. My crystals come from Rainbow Runner in Hamilton. And Adrian will set you up with whatever you need. He knows a lot about crystals. Newcastle, Hamilton, New South Wales, Australia. A lot of my other bigger crystals come from markets in Brisbane. I don't know where they got them from. They're just random places I've got my big crystals from. Every Sunday, once a fortnight, I had a weekend off, 4-day off. I was a manager for a makeup, a major, like a global international makeup company. I would get 4 days off a month and I would take my kids wherever they wanted to go. Most of the time we'd head to New Farm because it's like there's really cool, it's like a tree house. You can run through this tree house and the kids love to get outdoors. We'd play soccer in the park. We'd take a lunch. I'd drive in there and we'd park the car. We'd stay in New Farm for the day and run through the trees. It was like this tree house. It was just amazing. I loved New Farm in Brisbane. And then we do that and then we go to the markets in South Bank where the water is, where you can swim outdoors in a pool, the seawater pool, which is beautiful. There's nothing like it in the world, I don't think. I've never seen anything like South Bank. And we used to go and pick out our crystals. I got them to pick out crystals from a very young age because I wanted them to get interconnected with their spirituality because I knew they were psychic, because I am. And my ex-partner was psychic. So we had this running game that I would introduce them to things that later on they might use in the future. And I've kept some of these crystals that I feature in these videos are actually theirs. This smoky quartz I've dropped, unfortunately, was my youngest Scorpion's smoky quartz. When we moved, I packed them all up and I put them in a box and I took them out and put them in a storage unit for about 4 years. So they were dormant for 4 years. You can imagine the energy they were absorbing. And then I pulled them out and my God, I couldn't sleep because it was just so much energy from not only my energy, but my kids' energy. So I can connect through that, through my son's energy, because it's a product, it's a crystal, it's psychometry is what I do. In the past, it's got 8 of Cups. Maybe you had to leave a place that you couldn't be there anymore. And that's what I did. I left Brisbane because I couldn't stay there anymore. I didn't have a job. I didn't know how I was going to bring money in. I had no help financially from the kid's dad. And I thought, and my mum was sick, so I thought the best place for me was to go closer to my mum, and it's funny because I was wearing, I don't know if you know Thomas Sabo, but it's my favourite bracelet. I used to wear it every day. I had this Thomas Sabo bracelet that stayed on my hand for about 3 years, or 4 years when I was up there. And the week before I was meant to leave the job and leave Brisbane and move interstate, the whole thing broke and fell on the floor. Now, the black obsidian, which was what the crystal was made out of, is meant for protection because I didn't have a mum in Brisbane. I didn't have anyone. I just had me and the boys. So that bracelet I no longer needed protection because I was going home to my protection. I had my mum. And it's funny because I've lost my crystal 2 days ago. I love crystal. Pink quartz. I don't know where it is. I've lost it. My pink crystal. And it's to draw in love. And it's gone. Rose quartz. But I think because I've lost it, it's because I'm going to find love. Because when you lose something that's representative of love, you're going to attract it somewhere in your life without you even knowing it because you no longer need the crystal. Because you've already drew it in. Law of attraction. The last card, the recent last past, is talking of family harmony. 10 of Cups, an emotionally fulfilling life with family or friends, raising children wisely, people you can trust. And yes, I had to move home and I moved in with parents and grandparents got involved. And everyone got involved because that's what they do in my family. They're very nosy and too involved, I think. But anyway, they got involved and we were all talking there at one stage and then we all fought. Now none of us talk to each other. We're all fighting again. So it's talking in the past, you did have harmony, air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Now I've got a Libra card that I've just pulled. It's called the Justice card. This is talking about making decisions. Time to review the details carefully. You'll win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. Someone may be investigating you. I'm just going to put it out there, air signs. Someone is asking questions they don't know the answers to, or they know the answers to, and they want to make sure that whatever you tell them is actually congruent with what is actually true. They are questioning everything you do, everything you say, everything you don't say. There is a detective around you right now, whether it be your son, who's a Scorpion, they're born detectives, or yourself, who's judging everyone around you because you're trying to figure out if that what they say and what they do are the same thing. That's what Scorpions do. They don't trust anyone, including themselves. There might be a document you have to sign, or recently you signed a document which talks about a lease for a house. You may have gotten recently married, so it's a marriage contract, or you signed a real estate contract, or you signed a job contract, and you may be under a contract for 3 months. Then you've got the Eight of Pentacles. This is talking about moving and doing some sort of study, further study, education in form of seminars, going back to school, apprenticeships, or long-term projects. You may decide to go back to school, TAFE, traineeship, internship. Someone might want to go and do law, internship. I was offered one recently. I didn't do it because I thought I'd get a job in retail for the time being and then look at doing that part-time, which I'm still looking at. Then we've got here the Lovers. This is talking about a choice. This is also strong, heavy Gemini energy around you right now. You may have a Gemini around you that's interested in you, but I can honestly tell you that the Lovers represents Gemini. I have a trine in my astrological natal chart. I have Gemini, Aquarius, double Aquarius, and a Libra. Sorry, a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy in a trine. So I'm double Aquarius with the Libra, Gemini trine. So there's always, Geminis are always being told to be flirts. You can't tie them down. They have so much intellectual stimulation they need in a partner because they get bored quickly. They're the big kids of the zodiac. Geminis are the babies of the zodiac when it comes to air signs. So the grandfather would be Aquarius. The teenager would be a Libran. And the Gemini is the baby. Imagine, some people who's an Aquarian with Gemini strongly in their placement in their chart may oscillate between, again, just the scales. You oscillate from being the great grandfather of the zodiac to being the baby of the zodiac. So some days you feel like you want to adult, and other days you don't want to adult. And I understand that. That can be confronting. It's also talking about having a choice between two lovers. One could be older, one could be younger. We're talking about a younger Pisces that's around you, and we're talking about an older Scorpion energy. Maybe they're older, but not actually chronologically older. They could be just older in the head. They could be the parent. You may want to look to them because they're more like a parent than what they are for their age group. They may have been born old, like Benjamin Button. And the reason I know it's a Scorpion is because we got transformation card. You may be transforming in some way, or maybe you've transformed them in some way by educating them on their spirituality through YouTube. You may talk to each other on YouTube indirectly through your own readings for each other. That's what it's saying here. You have common interests, commonalities. Then you've got the renewal. This is about judgment. You may, in the past, have been heavily judged for what you do, not in a positive light. You may have lost jobs over it. It's only because what people don't understand, they think is bad, is evil. It's not. What it's saying here is that review the past and present so you can proceed a bright new future. Understanding your life, purpose, releasing judgments of yourself and others. You may have people that judge you, and maybe you judge them harshly because you've been judged harshly in the past. The need to fit in is not strong in your chart. The Nine of Cups is talking about love, welcome come true, wishes come true, dreams fulfilled, and a magical time in life. You may have a fairy godmother around you, or a guardian angel that's like a fairy godmother that looks out for you and wants to deliver your greatest wish. And your greatest wish may be something you haven't even breathed a word to the rest of your family, because you don't want the judgment from them. And I don't blame you. Who should judge what your heart's desire is? What your heart's desire has nothing to do with anyone but you and your heart's desire. Whether it's a relationship, a new child, a new home, a new life. It could be in another country. The Six of Wands is a ticker-tack parade card. I call this the card where you're celebrated instead of tolerated. Go where you're celebrated rather than tolerated is what I say. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards, success, and public recognition. You've come through a big journey. You've done You've done a Andrew Johns, you pulled a rabbit out of your hat when the odds were stacked against you because you were a small town boy that came to Sydney and kicked their asses and came home with the trophy. That to me is it's a wild card. It's the wild card in the deck. The next card I've pulled is the pet card. You may have to work with pets, or you work in a shop that sells pet accessories, is what I'm getting here. This is the Dragon's pet. Communication between species, animals, pets, magical companions, and guardianship. You may have, like I said, to do with a pet. You may have someone who has a pet. You may want to get a pet. And that number is 42. We've got. And by the way, animals know things long before humans do. My mum's dog, Lily, she starts barking and running around chasing a tail half an hour before I even arrive. And then when I get there, she's barking at the front door. And then she's chasing a tail in front of me, which makes me laugh. And then she pees on the floor because she's so excited. I wish people would be like that. Wouldn't it be cool if someone that you haven't seen in a long time chased their own tail and peed on the floor because they were so excited to see you? I know it's inappropriate and probably age inappropriate, but it just makes me laugh because if dogs could be like humans, the world would be a nicer place. You have watchdog energy around you. A pet, an animal, a plant is relaying information to you. Please tune in and listen to what is being shared with you. You will know when energy is changing around the borders of what is called your home or land in time to take positive and perfect action. A dog may bark at a person or being it does not trust. A plant may wither after a certain being has visited. All of these are strong messages from your companions and allies, and the fairies communicate with them all the time. If you need to connect with the Fae, as in the fairy world, your companions are one of the first sources you may turn to deepen and strengthen that connection, for they already have it and are already sharing those messages with you. Boundaries, receptivity, messengers from the animal or magical world are flying between you and the Fae. And 2 days ago, I had this magpie that was just singing a rainbird song. And I'm like, what's that? What's he warning us about? And I thought, oh, it's rain. Sure as eggs, the next day it rained. So that's all I have. Oh, hang on, I've got one more card. This is the 3 graces. Cooperative ventures with friends, joy, sharing new partnerships and celebrations that are fun. Celebrating with 2 other girls. There may be the 3 of you that get along really, really well. Number 3. 3 is also creativity. So if you don't want to get pregnant right now, I suggest you wear something to protect yourself from that. Let's see. It's number 1. It's the first card. It's number 3 number, but it's number 1 card. Finding like-minded souls to work with, a happy workplace, a new community is being birthed, meeting new friends who feel like family, overcoming trust issues with other people, sharing understanding and cooperation brings you new opportunities, joint business ventures, growth of new friendships and relationships, bringing about play, delight and work that is in tune with your purpose and talents, celebration of new beginnings, dance and gentle movement, synchronized fate of yourself with 2 or 3 other like-minded beings with similar outlooks, training ideas and beliefs, new business ventures with friends, amicable interactions with strangers, feeling happy and connected to female friendships, feeling strong bonds with people although you've just met them, creating a working magical circle built on trust, delight, security and friendship, and rejoicing in femininity and feminine energies, meaning your friends that you're going to meet are also female. You may work in a female-dominated environment, whatever gender you are. I hope that helps everyone out there. For Air Signs 2023, this is your Air, Sun, Moon and Rising for Moonlight Madness. If you like this page, if you like this channel, what I just talked about, please don't forget to like and share my page. I'm not doing personal readings at the moment. I'm too busy. I've just started a new job and I'm trying to get out all these readings at the moment. I'm also trying to figure out how to make my YouTube channel work better so that I can then let you donate if you wish to, or get a personal from me. I'm learning how to do that too. I'm self-taught here. So I'm a one-man show and all I've got is a tiny little phone that I'm using. I borrowed an iPad before when I filmed the last light, which worked out better because it was bigger space to work with. I just need to figure out how to do the Wix page, which I'm going to get help with on Tuesday. Computer pals. Anyway, good night. God bless. Bye.